I'm Vikita, and I'm a recovering emotional reactor. I used to get emotionally torn up at every little external event. I used to get emotionally upset over people's words, their actions, why he said that, why they didn't invite me there, why I got left out, and then I just didn't. I learned that you don't control your emotions, you control your reaction to them. And that is the theme of today's video, leading me to a huge disclaimer. Emotions are normal, having them is normal, having them is exceptional. It means that you love deeply, feel deeply, and care deeply.
Congratulations, you're not a psychopath.
But you might be giving
Stalker.
And we're gonna change that. What you're gonna learn in this video is how to control your reaction to your emotions, which your lack of might be leading you to send text paragraphs at 2 a.m., yell hurtful things and then feel guilty, make stupid irrational decisions, and overthink every little thing, causing an anxiety-induced downward spiral. An inability to control your emotions can lead to an intense automatic response to attach to people, places, things, situations, outcomes, because your emotions are in control. They're saying jump, you're saying how high. Being a slave to your emotions, attaching yourself to people's words and their actions, and reacting to every single thing happening in your external world puts you in the fast lane to feeling out of control, exhaustion, and just plain misery. This is the cause of attachment, and the prescription is non-attachment, which we've discussed before, and you can watch that video right here. When you're in control of your emotions, you have a sense of deep detachment from other people's words, their behavior, their actions, and that combination of self-control and non-attachment is fuego. So the goal, not trying to stop feeling emotions through detachment, no. Your goal is to start realizing what the emotion is, where it's coming from, what place, what wound is it coming from, and then letting it pass without a spectacle or without prolonging it unnecessarily. So let's get into my 4-phase POA, plan of action, to achieve this goal so you can finally be in the driver's seat of your dating life and relationships. Phase number 1, get your ego in check. It's been 2 dates, he ghosted you. Who actually cares? Your ego is going to try and convince you that this man was the love of your life. He was the one. How could he? How dare he? But you got to get your ego in check and shut that up. You might have an emotional response to getting ghosted. Normal. But how are you choosing to react to it? Are you choosing to let your ego send you down a downward spiral, saying, see, all men suck, this is why I can't trust men, this always happens, the ego's yelling at you, you better do something about this, you better tell him who you are, he cannot disrespect you like this. You're listening to your ego. Your ego is speaking to you, giving you direct orders, and you're taking the orders and saying, all right, I'm gonna go fulfill these orders right now. The ego is in control here. You have to be in control. You do not take orders from your ego and say, all right, like it's your day job, like your ego is the boss and you are working for your ego. No, that's not how it's going to work, because that does not work. Shut your ego up, take a step back, and remember that your ego operates from animalistic, survival, and protective instincts. It's going to instinctually push out survival, animalistic, protective responses in you. And if you're always listening, taking these directions from your ego, you're quite literally going to be an emotional kook. See, most people have this thing backwards. They think once they fulfill the order that is being given by the ego, they're going to send that text and get a sigh of relief like, ah,
I feel so much better. See? This is why I just have to do what I'm being told. Like, if I have this gut instinct to send that text paragraph, I just know that I'm going to feel so much better, so I'm just going to do it.
But that's incorrect. That sigh, that feeling of relief, is coming from the inevitable. And the inevitable is this: emotions are always passing. That is where this feeling of relief is coming from. It's coming from the emotion passing, because they all always do. You've just been conditioned to believe that you're feeling better because of a specific action that you have taken in response to the external event. Listen to my words carefully and remember this. This is a guarantee, that you will feel better regardless of your response or your reaction to the external event. Because all that arises will cease. Your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, they will pass eventually. And then you can make a clear, rational decision and then decide on the final outcome that you want to take. Now, this is a specific cycle I really need you to avoid because it is something that women get involved with constantly, and it is probably leading you to have failed relationships, and I don't want that for you anymore. So listen up carefully. This slide right here is from my program, The Feminine Dating Academy, which you can find at the link in my description box. But I do a whole module on emotional reactivity because it's quite literally going to make or break your relationships. And this is the cycle that we're going to talk about. It's called the reactivity cycle. You start dating somebody, he isn't aware of your needs or your boundaries or your standards, okay? Because we should always silently assert them, not loudly assert them. That's a whole other video, so subscribe if you want that one. You then don't see him adhering to your standards or your boundaries. And so you start reacting. You text him, you call him, you in person tell him, you are a high value woman and you don't deserve to be treated this way. How could you? You better learn how to treat me or I'm gonna walk away, okay? That is your reaction to him not knowing or being aware of your standards, your boundaries. He then pulls away, which is a normal reaction. He is going to be like, okay, whatever, not going to deal with that. He pulls away. You then react to his pulling away. So the initial reaction to him not treating you correctly has passed. You are now reacting to him pulling away from that first initial reaction that you gave him. Now you're trying to do damage control, so you send a text, a call, you see him in person, you're pleading for him to come back and that you didn't mean it and that you overreacted, yada, yada, yada. He then says, okay, fine. He comes back, but he comes back in a less invested way. Now you're noticing this. You're like, there's a little bit of distance here. This is not feeling good. I don't like this. Emotions start arising. You start reacting to those emotions. Now you start getting angry and reactive. Again, you ask him, you press him, why are you acting distant? You're being weird. What's going on? Are you seeing somebody else? All reactivity, causing him to now pull away further. Eventually, after engaging in this cycle, it continues, right? So it just goes on and on and on. If you are not aware, if you don't have self-awareness, if you continue to react with unfavorable responses, this man is eventually probably going to ghost you. You're probably never going to see him again. You're going to wonder, why did this relationship not work out again? This is a very funky pattern that keeps happening. What the heck did I do wrong? Is it me? Now you're going to start internalizing and going down a downward spiral. But it's simply just this reactivity cycle that is causing this to happen. And this is why men pull away. I'm not saying that you can't have specific needs and wants and express them, but you have to express them in a way that isn't reactionary and causing a demand in somebody and causing them to feel like you are expecting something of them and that they are solely responsible for your needs and your wants and your emotional makeup. That is your responsibility. And we're going to get into that. Don't worry. I'm going to check you on that. Please avoid this at all costs. This is all a lack of emotional control. Again, I have a full module on this in my course because it's so important, so check that out in the description box. When you're controlling the flow of your emotions, you're controlling the severity of your clinginess. And that is felt. It's a sense of detachment from another person's actions and a sense of knowing within yourself translated into your reactions. Phase 2, getting triggered is your own fault. Yeah, you heard me. Take responsibility of your feelings and your emotions. They're your responsibility and your responsibility only. The hurtful words that people speak to you, the shitty things that they do, yeah, they all suck, but it doesn't give you this permission slip to be a victim forever and be in this entitled attitude of, well, they hurt me and they did this and people lie and everyone hurts me. You are in victim mode. That is never going to serve you. Choosing to be a victim robs you of your power. We can never change what the world brings to us. We can never change how people speak to us, what they say to us, what they do to us. We cannot control any of those things. What we can control is how we react to them, how we choose to move forward with them. You can simply choose to avoid situations that are hurtful to you. You don't have to spend hours screaming, yelling, texting. Your fingers are going to fall off. That's what we call trigger fingers, okay? Or is it Twitter fingers? Whatever they're called, you have it. You don't need to spend your energy and expel this, like I always say, juicy energy on situations that don't warrant a response from you. It might hurt, and I'm not saying that you can't have this hurt emotion, but how are you choosing to take that emotion? Where are you choosing to direct it? Are you choosing to direct it right back to that person, hurt them, cheat on them, do bad things to them? Or are you choosing to sit in your emotion, observe it, watch it, and be like, okay, we've got this emotion, we're feeling a little bit down, where can we redirect this, and how can we move forward? We can probably block that person disrespecting us. We can probably never speak to that friend again because they're choosing to hurt our feelings and they're choosing to do things that are genuinely hurting us 24/7. The biggest thing that I learned during this journey, because for me, this was the biggest thing I needed to overcome, I decided to simply let people do what they were going to do and decide if I wanted to be affected by them anymore. Did I want to be affected by their words anymore? No. Did I want to be affected by their actions anymore? No. I had the choice. I still have the choice, and I will continue to have the choice. And whenever somebody chooses on their part to hurt me, disrespect me, act in behavior that could be hurtful to me, I just simply decide to not let that affect me, not because I'm trying to block out all my emotions. I am just choosing to walk away because I don't have to be hurt. I don't have to let this person continue hurting me. You don't have to let people continue hurting you either. You don't have to let people's words continue to enter and penetrate your ecosystem. You decide what's in your ecosystem. Are you letting words and actions of people that are hurtful constantly enter your ecosystem? If you are, then you're going to constantly have this job of checking yourself. Okay, I can't get upset over this. How am I going to react? That is a very, very expensive job. Okay, do not have the pay grade for that job. It is a full-time job. We don't want to work it. It's just not going to be for us. So you just have to simply be more mindful of what's entering your ecosystem so that you don't have to constantly have this job of watching people, monitoring them, monitoring your feelings. It's simple. Let them go. Let them leave your ecosystem. Actually force them. Get security to kick them out. You have to reset your compass to yourself versus to the outside world. It's your responsibility to create a favorable response to an unfavorable situation. Because remember, your feelings are your feelings only, and that is what you're reacting to. Coming full circle back to you as the sole holder of responsibility. And I know maybe you don't want to hear that. A lot of people find so much more power in being a victim and blaming the outside world because it's easier than looking at themselves as like, wait a second, I've got the power. I truly have the power, because if I can react in this way, I can also react in that way. If I can manifest this, I can manifest that. If I can think negatively, I can think positively. It's all about me. A lot of people don't find power in that, but I know you're different, so you're going to find power in looking at yourself as the one in control. You being responsible for your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, what's going on in your reality, who's in your reality, the situations that you're attracting, the people that you're attracting. Everything is your responsibility. And it's not your fault, honestly. It's really not your fault, because we've been socialized to believe that it's easier to blame outside people, outside things, and the outside world because life sucks, and that's what they want us to believe. But we're not like them. We are different, and we are going to take full responsibility for our lives, what we feel, our thoughts, our emotions, how we react. The feelings that you are having is not anybody else's fault. I know that might be hard to hear. The only thing that is their fault and their responsibility is their action. Your reaction is your responsibility. Deepak Chopra says every tormentor and tyrant can be a teacher. And if you tune into that awareness, you will literally never be disrupted or disturbed. Now, I want to share this powerful tactic that you can use in situations where you feel you're being tormented, and you might be in a situation right now where you're living with your teachers. This is called the gray rock method, and it's rooted in behavioral psychology. I have used it often myself when I was in situations where I couldn't actually leave because my environment was these people. But it's just basically where you act deliberately unengaged and just unresponsive to what someone is saying. So if somebody's just barking nonsense and chatter at you and trying to get you to react in an emotional, unhinged way, you just simply, from the head up, you're just like this. This, to somebody who tries to deliberately get a reaction out of you, a rise out of you, is going to just make them bored, because people that deliberately want to do that and intentionally get you out of your peace are going to get bored because you're not giving them what they want. So you have to just... These type of people thrive on emotions and chaos and just huge spectacles. So when you give in to that, they're like, oh my God, she's my victim. Like, she's giving me what I want. I love this. This is like my after school activity. And you don't want to be that person anymore, because I have been there. Trust me, I have been there. And when you learn how to master this and you just literally act unbothered, you are going to just lose the interest of this tormentor. Phase number 3, get the ick. Literally get the ick. You have to stop feeling grossed out by superficial appearance-based things and start getting the ick over character-based, personality-based things. If this person is disrespecting you, talking down to you, saying emotionally hurtful things, cheating on you, doing actions that are detrimental to your peace, they're ghosting you all the time, they're playing hot and cold, you're always checking their location, like, why are you not grossed out by that behavior? Why are you more attracted to that behavior? We have to get the ick when people disrespect us. I always talk about your energy being the most vital, beautiful thing ever. I want you to do this game. Every time you give an outside thing your juicy, powerful, vibrant, sexy energy, you lose 10 points. If by the end of the week on Sunday you have no points left, if you have 10 points left, it's not going to work. At the end of your week, you need to have 70 points. Like, I used to get asked this all the time in university and in high school, and people would be like, Vikita, how do you just walk away? Like, how do you just not let yourself get disrespected? Excuse me, it's not that hard. I get grossed out, disgusted, appalled by that kind of behavior. Like, why am I allowing that? I'm grossed out by that behavior. It does not turn me on. It does not make me want them more. Grosses me out. Why would anyone be more attracted to somebody who's treating them like garbage? You have to get the ick. When they do something, you're not yelling anymore. You're walking away. When you have to go through their phone all sneaky, and you're not getting mad, you're not yelling, you're walking away. You're not getting out of your peace. You're not expending energy of yours that is vital to your survival, vital to your thrivingness, vital to you getting the life of your dreams on a clown who's out here doing God knows what. We don't care. Go do it. That's not my person. You're not my person. That's all I have to say on that. It's quite simple. It's quite to the point. Get the ick. Do not get turned on by disrespectful behavior. Stop screaming. Stop expending your energy on disrespectful behavior. Number 4, just check yourself. Literally check yourself. You can only control your emotions if you have the desire to in the first place. If you don't want to be a calm cucumber, you're just not gonna want to do it. You have to want to do this and actually, like, really build the awareness to, okay, deep breath. How am I going to react to this situation? You have to want to get better. This is a skill that you have to build. Like everything I say in every single one of my videos, these are all skills that you have to build. You don't just snap your fingers and you're like, not emotional and you're unbothered. It doesn't happen like that. But you have to check yourself. I just chose the wrong reaction. That's on me. That's my fault. Okay, we're doing better in the next one. You just have to realize that there's nothing actually making you sad, nothing making you mad, nothing actually making you upset. It's just the way that you're choosing to react to it. Really listen to that. You choose the reaction. So you are getting faced with the situation. Again, we have been socialized to be faced with the situation and associate anger to that situation. So now we're automatically going to get into anger mode. We're going to react with anger back. But we don't have to. We can choose to get faced with a situation that might warrant an angry reaction. But instead, the easier option, the path of least resistance, would be to just simply and then just walk away. And when I say just check yourself, you have to just constantly ask yourself why you're reacting, why you're choosing to react in an unpleasant way. That doesn't benefit you. When I say unpleasant, not because it's unpleasant for them, because now they don't deserve it. Maybe they do deserve it, but unpleasant for yourself. It's not in your interest to disturb yourself and disturb your peace and get out of your character. It might be in their interest to give them a piece of your mind, but it's not favoring you. Anything that does not favor ourselves because we're selfish, we are not partaking in. And reacting in a irrational, chaotic way is not favoring us. So we're not doing it. Silent boundaries and standards, loud assertion of said boundaries and standards, meaning you don't scream them at somebody, you just show them through your actions that you are taking within yourself, the words that you are speaking, not I demand this, I want this, I expect this, just how you move in life. That is going to show your standards and your boundaries. Okay, let people observe them rather than you screaming them at them, because they're not going to listen to you and they're just going to be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Because usually there's very little follow through when somebody is screaming their boundaries and standards. That's a whole other video. Subscribe if you want that. 4 reasons why you might be loudly reacting to people's words, behaviors, and their actions. Number 1, You're trying to prove them wrong. So you're trying to persuade them of your viewpoint. You're trying to convince them of something. You don't get it. Here's more information on my life so you get it because I need to feel validated. Number 3, we need to try and serve justice for ourselves. Okay, this was big for me. Because I'm going to tell you that you need to treat me better. You can't treat me like this. I deserve to be treated better. This is how I expect to be treated. Number 4, trying to serve justice for somebody else. You can't do my girl like that. This is why you can't do her like that. She can't stand up for herself, so I'm going to stand up for her. All of these just basically mean that you are trying to defend your viewpoint, which brings defensiveness into the picture. Because when somebody doesn't, because they probably won't, not one person on this earth has the exact same, down to the finer details, our viewpoint in life and our perspective. Because we've all been through very, very different things, very similar themes, but with very different nuances and different contexts. So no one will ever be able to have the same viewpoint as us. When you understand that, you will stop trying to convince somebody of something by yelling at them, screaming at them, and those 4 reasons are probably why you loudly assert your standards and your boundaries. But instead of trying to do that and just accept that no one's really going to get your point of view, you will get back all your control. So check yourself in every situation. Are you getting an emotion and then trying to alter it? Are you getting an emotion and then trying to run after it, follow it? Are you getting an emotion and then catastrophizing it? Are you getting an emotion and then clinging to it? What are you doing? Ask yourself in every situation that causes an emotional stir, before you react, what are you doing with this emotion? You don't have to do anything to this emotion other than just observe it. Watch it with binoculars. That is emotional detachment. And when you can master emotional detachment, you can master your entire life, because now you're in control of your reactions to your emotions rather than letting them take you for a ride. I trust that you will subscribe if you liked this video. Comment down below if you're a recovering reactor as well. And remember that all my links are in the description below, as well as all my courses. I will see you in my next one. Bye.